Can a Christian be depressed? That's a question that I think a lot of people ask themselves today. And I've heard a lot of preachers say that if you're having depression, then something's wrong with you in your walk for God. But what's the Bible tell us about other Christians, people who have followed God? Well, we can start in the Old Testament with Noah. After Noah had watched the entire world die, his brothers, his sisters, his nieces, his nephews, they would have all perished. And the only people that were saved was Noah and his family. And after he got off the ark, what's he do? He goes and builds a vineyard and gets drunk. Think he might have been trying to drink away some memories? It's very possible that's what his problem was. But something more substantial that you can tell is in the book of Job. After Job loses everything, all his substance, all his children, his wife says, just curse God and die. And that comes from a place of great grief from her. She wasn't trying to be angry or mad at Job himself, but she was so upset she didn't know what else to do except for to blame God. And Job himself, he sat in ashes and he mourned for days and didn't even speak, wouldn't eat because of his great grief. And I know in my own experience, when I lost my father, I just had colon surgery. A couple months later, he passed away. I had just spent a year and I lost like 150 pounds. And after he passed, I was so depressed and in such a bad state of mind, I didn't care about the weight loss no more. And I went back to eating, and I wish I hadn't because I was feeling better, but, it happened. You look in the New Testament, when Lazarus died, Mary and Martha, Jesus, if you'd been here, he wouldn't have died. That was grief speaking. They were blaming God. How many times have we went to God and said, God, why'd you let this happen? Jesus himself even wept. In fact, before the flood, it said God repented that he had even made man in the first place, because it hurt him to see his creation turn away from him and walking straight into the gates of hell. And we as parents, we see our children turn away from the things that we have taught them, turn away from God. That saddens us. So can a Christian be depressed? Absolutely. We can absolutely get depressed. Paul talks about how our flesh is at war against our spirit. And as long as we're in this flesh, we're going to have problems with our emotions bringing us down. But what we do with that, we don't dwell in it. We don't wallow in it. We take it to God. That's the difference between a Christian being depressed and someone in the world being depressed. We don't sit in it. We give it to God.